Alrighty, well, there's Rocky. I'm getting ready for us to start our day. I am. Got the heat on. Hey, you. Boop, boop, boop. Got my Rocky going here. He's quite a cat. Him's quite a cat, him is. See, the blanket's frozen to the door again. Ooh, there we go. That's frozen solid. Look at that. A blanket shouldn't sound like that when it hits the floor. Anyway, here we go now. We'll put it back here. Knock the lid off my garbage can. It did. It's funny in a way. Yeah. All right. So that gives you an idea how cold it is. As soon as I take that blanket off the door, I notice right away the cold coming in. When I pull this off, it's going to be even more because that's a gap there. Oh my goodness. Rocky's pretty cute. Anyway, it is time to start our day. I always put my shoelaces inside my boots when I put them away and when I take them off. And the reason I do that is because the boots, they have water on them, and salt water and whatnot in the wintertime because of the salt they put on the roads and on the streets. So you pick it up when you're walking. And if you don't put your shoelaces inside the boots, then they be outside, and the water coming off the boots rots the shoelaces. So that's the reason I do that anyway. I put them inside the boots, and then my shoelaces last a lot longer. But anyway, I'm noticing a trend in society, and it does have me troubled. And what it is there are still, Rocky's tail, there are still a lot of people who believe that the narrative, who believe the C-19 narrative. And I'm finding that you go on social media, on Facebook, or any of these other places, the amount of people that are commenting on posts saying that those who didn't follow mandates are murderers and selfish and stupid and anti-science and all the rest of it. The number of people like that is still very high. Like it's overwhelmingly high. And now some of them are trolls placed there by the authorities. You can be sure some of them are. In fact, some of them, if you look at their profiles, I had a guy yesterday calling me a dimwit and everything else, and telling me that I went over to Europe during the scamdemic, and that I marched with Nazis, that I actually physically went over there and marched with Nazis, which I didn't, but that's what they said. Little do they know, I'm actually on a domestic terrorist watch list. The federal government of Canada considers me a domestic terrorist. I'm not allowed to cross international borders. If I tried to cross an international border, I'd be arrested. So it wouldn't even be a matter of being turned back, told no and turned back. I would actually be taken into custody because I'm considered a domestic terrorist. The local police in Perth made a point of seeing that I got put on that list. And so I honestly couldn't have done that if I had wanted to. Anyway, the thing is, I looked him up. I looked at his profile. Completely blank. There was a profile picture that looked a lot like Vladimir Zelensky from Ukraine. The guy looked an awful lot like him. And a name that sounded European. And that was it. Anyway, and there was no other information about this guy. And this is what I find a lot of the time. These troll accounts are like that. A lot of the time they're new accounts, and a lot of the time they're accounts with no content other than a profile picture and a name. Anyway, Still, there are others that are legitimate citizens, just like you and I, and they firmly bought into the narrative, and they're really angry with those of us who didn't follow mandates. Now, the authorities throughout the world, the globalists, are planning to do that again. The first time was just a dry run. That's all it was. It was more a research and development thing than a serious thing. But they're planning to do it again, and that's what concerns me. Because there are just too many people. Yes, there are fewer people now that will buy into it than would have been, but there are still way too many people buying the narrative. This guy I was having my debate with yesterday, at first he said that the death rate didn't go up when the shots came out, but that it did go up at the beginning of the thing in 2020. Well, that's not true. The death rate stayed the same and then went up when the shots came out. He also said that the reason, and then he changed his story, and he said that the reason the death rate went up when the shots came out was due to the opioid addiction issue. Well, the opioid addiction issue has been an issue since the mid-1990s. Any spike in death rates we saw from that, we saw decades before 2020. So no, that's not what it is. That'd be quite a coincidence if it was, but it isn't. Of course, he called me a liar repeatedly. Twisted my words around. This is what they do. Twisted my words to make it sound like I'd said something different than what I had said. I finally just discontinued my communication with him. I suspected he was a troll, and my last message to him was that I suspect that he's a troll. And I looked at his profile, and sure enough, it was a troll profile. You could tell it was blank. Profile picture, name, that was it. So yeah, it like I say, somebody else chimed in and commented to say that myself and people like me had put people at risk and killed people and all that. I checked their profile too. They looked like they at least had a legitimate profile, so they'd be just a legitimate citizen like you and I. But those are the people that trouble me. The trolls really don't trouble me because they're paid to stir up shit. It's the ones who sincerely believe that those of us who didn't follow narratives are evil criminals and so on, because those are the ones that are going to persecute us when this next one comes and we don't follow those narratives. And we don't follow those mandates, And so, yeah, it's a concerning thing. Anyway, just be aware when this next thing happens, and it's going to happen, they're not finished with us. This is a war, They're not finished with us. We're the enemy in their eyes. And if we're smart, they'll be the enemy in our eyes. But this is a war that we're in. And when they, the globalist, people like Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab, and, our Justin Trudeau, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Chrystia Freeland, Macron over there in France, those types of people, when they hit us the next time, when they hit us the next time, it's going to be an even bigger thing. And they're going to really push the envelope because, like I say, this last time was just a test run. That's all it was. So get ready, because the stakes are going to be a lot higher next time. If any of you who didn't follow mandates thought you got punished and had a hard time before, if you don't follow mandates this next time, it's going to be even rougher for you. They're in the process of building concentration camps in the United States and in Canada and really all over the world. And those camps are to house people like us until they decide what they're going to do with us. And what they're going to end up doing with us is probably not going to be anything we want to happen, but it's going to happen, you know. And there's going to be a lot of us won't be here anymore at that point. So, yeah, anyway, bottom line is get ready because it's coming. It's going to be worse than it was last time. And there's going to be an awful lot of people who still believe the narrative, and they're going to be perfectly fine with the powers that be doing whatever they decide to do to us who don't follow the narrative and who don't believe the narrative. All right, that's it. Well, it's time to start our day. I got to put my boots on. I can't do that and hold the phone at the same time, so I'm going to shut this down now, and we'll see you later. There's Rocky. Hello, Rocky. Rocky. All right, bye for now.